How you doing, Wildfire? Coach Andrew coming to you live from a hotel here in Lexington, Virginia. Lexington, Virginia is about 2.5 hours away from where you all are, and you might be wondering, why am I in a hotel in Lexington, Virginia? Well, my daughter Kaya, who I believe, yeah, I think you all may have met her briefly before one of our games, I think maybe 2 weeks ago. She rides horses. That's her main sport, and the biggest event of her career so far in her 16 years, she's been riding for about 6 or 7 years. The biggest event so far is this weekend in Lexington. There's a real big horse show where all riders on the East Coast come and compete, and she's going to be competing in that. So the bad news is I'm not going to be there this weekend for your first round of the end of the season tournament. That's the bad news. The good news is it doesn't matter. The reason it doesn't matter is because you have so far this season have more than proved to me, to Coach Paula, to Coach Angie, and more importantly, you've proved to yourselves that you all have the ability to play unbelievable team volleyball. You've got it in you. Now, there's still a lot of work, a lot of room for improvement. We've got another practice next week, and we're actually emailed your parents about seeing if we can get an extra practice next week. But in the meantime, I want you all to remember that you have the ability to play great volleyball. We've done it in practice, we've done it in games, and now the fun and challenging part is being able to make sure that we bring our best effort to the end of season tournament, because that's what this is all about. So while I feel horrible that I'm not going to be there for you this weekend, I have the utmost confidence in that you're going to be able to play some phenomenal volleyball. Now, in order to make that happen, it doesn't just happen, you have to earn it. You have to work at it, and we've been talking about this. So there are 3 things that I want you all to remember. I encourage you to even pause this video right now and write this down just as a reminder. And Coach Angie and Coach Paula are going to remind you all of this as well prior to our games tomorrow. But 3 things that I want you to focus on for this weekend. The first, you already know what it is. Say it together with me. 1, 2, 3. The triple E. So your energy, your enthusiasm, your encouragement. That we do that every week, okay? So we already know that we're going to focus on those triple E's. The second thing is communication. Communication, calling the ball. We need to talk to each other out there. It's very important, especially for this weekend, because we're going to be changing something a little bit, and I'll tell you about that in just a minute. But want to make sure that you all know you have to communicate to each other all the time. Loud, clearly, calling the ball, talking to each other is absolutely huge. So you're going to focus on the triple E's. You're going to focus on communicating, talking to each other, calling the ball. And third, the word I want you to remember is pounce. Pounce like a hunting cat. Pounce like your pet cat. If anybody has had a pet cat or has a pet cat or has a friend that has a pet cat or have seen any nature documentaries on hunting cats, you can all visualize what I mean, what I'm about to describe. When they're getting ready to attack a prey, they're hunched down, they've got their weight down, and they're leaning forward, and they're just waiting for that moment to pounce and go after what they're going after. And that's the mentality I want you to have on defense. That pounce mentality, where when that ball's on the other side of the court and the other team's fiddling around with that ball, getting ready to send it your way, you're all hunting cats. I want you down, ready, leaning forward, ready to pounce at that ball at a moment's notice. You know, we've been talking about the tenacity of the ball does not touch the ground. We have to not let that ball touch the ground, and it starts with the mindset of being ready to attack that ball, want that ball, expect the ball, tell yourself it's coming to you. But the word I want you to remember is pounce, because that's an easy, kind of weird word to remember, but I think that's going to help you remember, okay, pounce, I need to pounce at that ball. So you're down and you're ready to go after it. So the 3 things I want you to try to embrace, mentally prepare yourself when you're warming up in the circle drill before the games start tomorrow. I want you to be thinking to yourself, triple E's, communication, pounce. Pouncing. Those are the 3 messages I want to convey to you in that recipe right there. If you're able to do that, we may not win, and you guys know I really don't care if we win. It sure is nice if we win. It's all about playing the best possible volleyball that we can. Play to the best of our ability. Give ourselves and your teammates 110% effort, and if you do that at the end of the day, we've won, okay, regardless of what the outcome is. So, triple E's, communication, and pounce. Now, that being said, we are going to do something a little bit different when it comes to the rotations. I've talked it over with Coach Angie and Coach Paula. This may disappoint some of you, and you may have already been made aware of this because I did email your parents last night and let them know. But for this weekend, we're not going to do a 6-2. Okay, because of the fact that we're still kind of we still have room to improve there, and because we haven't been able to consistently play real strong volleyball. We've shown that we can, but then we kind of lose it. Then we play well, and then we lose it. What I think is going to give us the best chance for success this weekend is let's not worry about the 6-2. Okay, I know you know the 6-2, but instead let's worry about the 3 words, the 3 things I had you focus on: triple E, communication, and pouncing on the ball. But then, other than that, I want you to just play volleyball. I want you to have fun. You guys know how to play volleyball. You know how to communicate and work together as a team. So instead of having to worry about, okay, where do I have to be, and when do I have to be there, and the setters, where's the setter, who's getting the ball, we're not worrying about any of that. Instead, we're just going to do our standard rotation. So the standard rotation means that, yes, that setter is in that front right position when you're looking at the net, but I'm not even worried about trying to get it to that setter. If you can, great. What the goal is try to get 3 touches. Get that first ball in play. Try to set up someone so that we can get an attack on that ball. So instead of doing a 6-2, we're just going to run with a standard rotation where there's no that setter is in the front right, but it's really all about just communicating, having high energy, pouncing on that ball, and keeping it in play. Okay. In addition to doing that standard rotation, the only real thing that's changing is the fact that that setter that was normally in the back row isn't going to be the setter anymore, so we've got 3 players to defend on the back row, whereas before we only had 2. So we're going to be able to have much better defense, especially on the serve receive. And if you're on the front row, your job doesn't change. You're still transitioning on the net. When we send the ball over to the other side, you're on the net with your arms up in the air, and as soon as you realize you're not blocking the ball, you get your butt back to that 10-foot line down, ready to pounce on that ball. So in terms of what changes with the going away from the 6-2, going to a standard rotation, the only really thing that we're doing differently is that setter is not setting from the back row. So we've got 3 people in the back row, 3 people in the front row. Other than that, everything else remains the same. So it's about staying loose, having fun, playing for your teammates, have high energy, and go out there and give it your best. Okay, that's the moral of the story. That's the secret to success in life, is doing that, having a good attitude and absolutely giving it 110% effort. At the end of the day, that's all anybody can ask for. So I'm very anxious, and I can't wait to get reports from Coach Angie and Coach Paula in regards to how you guys are going to do tomorrow. It's going to be a ton of fun. Wish you the best of luck. Make sure you all get a good, proper rest tonight. Make sure you have a good, solid breakfast tomorrow, and come ready to play. Remember that mental approach when you're driving, getting ready to leave, and then on your way to the gym, and when you get to the gym, start to get serious, start to get focused. Know that, okay, this is it. This is the tournament. This is what we've been working all year on. And if everybody has that mindset, and you're there working the circle drill with your teammates, and you're having fun, and you're staying loose, and you're encouraging each other, and you have a high level of enthusiasm and energy, trust me, girls, good things are going to happen. So I wish you the best of luck. Can't wait to see you next week at practice, and good luck. We'll be thinking about you. Take care.